Hello and welcome Red Devils United. Well, Manchester United won 3 away games before facing Bournemouth on Saturday, and we came out 1-0 losers against a spirited Bournemouth side at the Vitality Stadium. And before we head into our discussion, Sagar has a message for you.
So as you always know, please like, share and subscribe to the channel and provide your comments below so that we know that you are following our content and any feedback you have regarding the videos.
Well, after beating Chelsea in the midweek fixture in the Carabao Cup at Stamford Bridge, United was flying high. There was positivity all around the place, and we as United fans thought that Ole Gunnar Solkjaer has finally solved the puzzle of the starting 11, because in Andres Pereira we saw a spirited number 10 performance that we hadn't seen so far. We tried Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata in that position. Paul Pogba was out injured. Andres Pereira was being played out wide. But when you put him in the number 10 position, he showed in the game against Bournemouth. Andres Pereira, I think he gave out his one of the worst performances of the season so far. Well, Andres Pereira has been a consistent starter in this Manchester United squad. He's played the first 6 or 7 games out on the right wing, but that's not his natural position. Right. And against Liverpool, we found out his natural position as the number 10 role. But against Bournemouth, where everybody expected him to shine, because Bournemouth is not a really good team by any standard, Andres Pereira gave out his worst performance, and he showed us why he's been sent out on loans over the last 3 seasons. Had he been a good player, Jose Mourinho would not have sent him out on loan, despite us being short on midfielders in his tenure as a Manchester United coach. But this season, we are already short on players, and we lack depth in that midfield. So Andres Pereira was our only option, and unfortunately, his inconsistency shown pride on the pitch. Well, looking at this team, Sagar, we knew that they were going to cause Bournemouth some problems, because Bournemouth is one of the only squads, bottom table squads, that want to play football. But this game, they set out to low block United, something we've done to the bigger teams.
I think Solskjaer was caught in a surprise, because he was not expecting Bournemouth to actually come into the game with a low block. We always knew that they like to play football, they like to play attacking kind of football. But this game they decided, I think Eddie Howe was smart in how he approached the game. He thought that we will maybe score a couple of goals and sit back and allow United to have the ball as much as possible, because we know that these midfielders lack that creative element within them to make things happen for the front three. For the whole game, I think Anthony Martial was starved of any service through the midfield. That contributed to Marcus Rashford and Daniel James being out of the game for almost 70-75 minutes, not creating anything. And towards the end, because we were 1-0 down, we decided to increase the intensity and move forward, but that does not really show what actually happened throughout the game. So midfield is where we lost the game again.
And this opens up a glaring hole in this United squad. We are one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer set us up in a counter-attacking formation.
Right.
But that does not work against every team, and we do not have a plan B. Like in our previous squads with Maru and Fellaini on the bench, we always had a plan B. Yeah. Like if regular football did not work, we just hoof it to Fellaini, and he might create some disturbances in the opponent's box and give us some chances. But we lack that option as well.
That is really a good point, because towards the end, when we needed a goal, we brought in Greenwood. And I think Brandon Williams came in place of Van Bissaka, because he was completely knackered towards the end. But Greenwood was our actual threat for a goal. And as it, like you said, Fellaini provided us with something different. We do not have that at this moment, and that is where we are really struggling to find those goals, those crucial goals.
Yeah. And this is where Andres Pereira, comes into picture. Because this guy, his movement's good. He takes the ball, but then he does not pass either left or right. There were certain moments in the game, especially in the first half, where Andres Pereira got into the right positions, and there was Marcus Rashford on the left, shouting for the ball. Anthony Martial was just waiting for that killer pass to come in so that he could go out and finish. But Andres Pereira decided to go in for, a fantastic shot. Something that he hasn't done ever since that Southampton game that we won 3-2.
I think he only had one chance in the game where...
Well, the second big thing that we've seen in Manchester United's games so far is like the number of shots that we've taken outside the box. Yeah. We know we've set up in a counter-attacking format, so we'll be taking whatever chances that come our way, but we've taken one too many shots outside the box. And that's taken away from the number of goals that we scored. We've had to depend on penalties,
right,
to score goals, and we've missed a lot of penalties as well. And that explains why we've scored just 13 goals. Teams like Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brighton, West Ham, they have scored more goals than Man United. Why? Because they've taken chances, they've created chances within the box, they've taken shots from within the box. But our midfield is something that has not been able to create those killer passes, that teams need or the strikers crave for when moving ahead in attack.
Right. I think it's like a repeated theme here, talking about the midfield and the lack of creativity there. If I'm not wrong, I think for this game we had like 20 shots and 5 of them were actually inside the box and the rest of them were outside the box. And those were the shots taken by either Rashford or Fred or Pereira, which came to no fruition because they were not on target as well. They were way off target, and that all boils down to what we actually do in the middle of the pitch. That is where we actually lack a lot of creativity.
And and especially for that substitution, when we realized that Andres Pereira was not doing anything, and we had one mother on the pitch. And this was a setup where the other team was set up in a counter-attacking mode, and United had majority of the possession. Why not bring one mother on at halftime and let him decide the game, let him bring out those good creative passes or play that one-touch football that he's so adept at, even though he's old and slow.
Yeah, for sure.
But those passes.
That would have actually made a difference possibly because Bournemouth were allowing us to have all the position in the world, and maybe Juan Mata might be would have found a pass somewhere in the midfield and maybe provided an assist to either Martial or Rashford, who were willing to make those runs into the box. Yeah, for sure. That would definitely would have been one of the options Solskjaer maybe would have looked at. I think the other big thing we found out during the game was in the back line. We saw Ashley Young come back into the team again. He was the captain of the team. But the goal was actually conceded due to a mistake from Aaron Van Bissaka, where he was found in the middle of the defensive box, where he failed to take the ball away from Josh King, and he had like 4 touches inside the box before having a shot at the goal. So what do you think about that? Do you think at this moment Manchester United are actually making those big mistakes which are leading to the goals, or maybe that could have been compensated by actually scoring the goals on the other side?
Well, that's the thing. We've left a lot to chance this season. We know we're a depleted squad, and we're lacking in quality all over the pitch. But these individual errors, these mistakes, we've been punished for them. A lot of teams, they get away with those mistakes, but not United this season. We've seen games against Crystal Palace or game against West Ham, Newcastle. Each one of those mistakes by either our midfield or our defense was punished. Even in the game against Chelsea, when Michy Batshuayi got that ball, we had 4 players on him, and not even one of them tackled him or played a technical foul just to stop him. he just went ahead and took a shot from outside the box and scored. Those are the moments, where we need stable heads,
Right.
on the pitch. Players who are calm and composed and know that they're in a big fixture. They're playing for a big team. They're not playing for a small club anymore. So all of those errors in those games have cost us. And that's the third big thing,
Right.
to take away from the Bournemouth game where Aaron Wan-Bissaka was in the centre back position.
Yeah.
You know why? Because we were dragged on by the play. The play shifted to the
Right.
left. Ashley Young was a glaring hole.
Yeah.
He wasn't there, so Harry Maguire had to take his position. Victor Lindelof shifted, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka also came in to stop Josh King, but Josh King somehow, he scored a magical goal.
Right.
Nothing to take away from Josh King. It was a good goal, but it could have been avoided
For sure.
had Ashley Young been,
Right.
at his position. And that is why we do not want Ashley Young near the squad. He's been suspended for the next Premier League game.
Yeah, that's a relief.
I'm so happy, but I have a feeling he'll come back in the squad for Partizan Belgrade because Solskjaer wants him to play no matter what.
Right. I wouldn't mind him playing against Partizan Belgrade because that would allow actually Brandon Williams to come into the game for Brighton.
Yeah.
And that would be a real positive because at the end of the Bournemouth game when he came in like for 10 minutes or 15 odd minutes,
Yeah.
he was really a bright spot making those runs. And I think one chance we had towards the end was actually due to a run made by Brandon Williams. And yeah, I would definitely like him to be a part of the first team rather than seeing Ashley Young in the left back position till Luke Shaw is actually fit. So for sure.
And another important takeaway, I think this is our fourth takeaway, is like man management,
Right.
The squad has not been handled well by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've seen a lot of players play some of these, measly games where we could have played youngsters from the academy, given Carabao Cup or, FA Cup fixtures. FA Cup hasn't started yet,
Right.
but just the Europa Cup games. Why are we still playing Marcus Rashford in each one of those games?
Marcus Rashford, Martial,
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire.
He started all the games. Aaron Wan-Bissaka started all the games. McTominay. These players have played more than 300 minutes
Yeah.
apart from international football.
Yes.
Why are we playing them when we know our squad lacks depth and one or two injuries and
That's all. We are done after that.
when we
We'll-
start losing games again.
Anyways, we are thin at the back, thin in terms of what we have in our reserves and our substitute bench. And if Solskjaer continues to do this, playing players for like 300 odd minutes in 6 days, that's going to affect the fitness levels of the players, and we will be seeing muscle injuries for them. I really hope that Wan-Bissaka is actually not seriously injured because I think he limped off towards the end of the game. Yeah, so I'm not sure what Solskjaer is trying to achieve with the team he is trying to put out for these crucial games.
Well, what do you think? Well, what do you think? So we've seen the squad against Bournemouth,
Yeah.
and we have a game coming against Partizan Belgrade in the Europa League. What do you think should our squad be? Should we go ahead with the same squad? Given that we're top of the table and just one more win will guarantee us, next round or the knockout round position in Europa League. Do you think should we give rest to Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka? Ashley Young should play,
Right, yeah.
and maybe bring in Garner.
For sure. I think this whole back line can change for me. Harry Maguire can be replaced by Marcus Rojo. Phil Jones, we have him like on the bench, I don't know why, but he can play this game as well. And we can have someone from the under 23 levels playing on the right back position, giving Wan-Bissaka a rest maybe. And we have Sergio Romero in goal. I think Garner can be given a chance in the midfield. Juan Mata can come in the number 10 position. And up top we can start, I guess, Mason Greenwood. We can have Tai Chong on the left because I think he is not he has been getting his chances, but he has a lot to prove, and maybe at Old Trafford under not a lot of pressure he can shine.
With that, should Jesse Lingard be given a starting with the squad?
Yes, for sure. Jesse Lingard can play, and maybe We can have Angel Gomez starting in the midfield as well, with partnering with James Garner. So that might be a possible lineup. In my opinion, Solskjaer should be looking at that lineup rather than starting regular starting 11 against Partizan Belgrade at home.
Yeah, like that's again the meaningless fixture because we'll have fixture pile up in Christmas, and
Right.
it's not that far,
Yes.
especially after the international break in November. There are a lot of important games coming up for United, and that's when we need our best players to be fully fit and be available for all the games. Because Paul Pogba, as we know, is out with another undisclosed injury, and he was talking with his brother and said that his foot would be in a cast for like 10 days.
10 days.
So nobody knows what kind of an injury he has. Doctors have said it's all in his mind, but Paul Pogba, as you know, his mind is not Old Trafford now. He's like mentally he's left Manchester United. It's just the a matter of time when we wouldn't see him at Old Trafford again. And
I think most of the fans are trying to justify the fact that if we had Paul Pogba in the midfield, maybe things would have been a little bit different. I definitely agree to that. But given the fact that we are Manchester United and we are putting out a starting 11, which is I think the most expensive in the world at this moment in terms of the wage bills we are paying, this team should be able to beat Bournemouth and the lower table teams pretty easily at this moment, and that is where we are actually struggling to do that. So I don't think Paul Pogba coming into the team would make a huge difference in terms of changing our fortunes.
Well, folks, that's it for us. And before we leave, any predictions for the Partizan Belgrade game?
I think given that if Solskjaer brings a very young team onto the pitch, I would like to see a 2-0 score maybe, or a close 2-1 with Mason Greenwood scoring some goals at Old Trafford.
Well, that fixture is meaningless for us fans anyways. We have to focus on the Premier League and ensure that we move up the table. 10th position, we've seen that. But a consolation is that Tottenham's below us. So does that mean Mauricio Pochettino is a worse coach than Solskjaer, given that he has quality all over his squad?
Right.
But without further ado, Red Devil fans, we'll see you next time after a Partizan Belgrade and Brighton Hove Albion games. And until then, please subscribe to our channel, spread the word, let us know what you think about United. We want to feature some of your comments on our channel and bring some of your opinions out and showcase them to the world. And until next time, ta-da!
Make sure you subscribe to the channel and also press the bell icon to stay updated on all the latest happenings regarding Manchester United.